The court in one of our cases about the Clinton emails has ordered the State Department to process and release the Clinton email records they still have but haven't released to the public more quickly, meaning by September of this year. Now, you may not know this, but there are still thousands of pages of Clinton email materials that the State Department has that it hasn't released to the American people. And if you've been following me here, or Judicial Watch generally, you will know that we've been really strongly pushing the administration to release these records more quickly. So what happened was last year, you may recall, the FBI went and found some of the records that Hillary Clinton didn't turn over or deleted or tried to delete. And those records the State Department now has. Now, for instance, we got the Wiener documents last week from the Wiener laptop that were on the Clinton server that showed there was classified information on the Wiener laptop. But there are thousands of other Clinton emails that have yet to be released. And the way the State Department has been going, incredibly under Donald Trump, was they actually slowed the release of records from the Obama administration era. And at the rate they were producing the records the FBI found, we would have to wait till 2020 to get all the records. That's right, at least 2020. And of course, those are only the records that they release because they withhold records or withhold parts of records. So the slight good news is that the State Department, thanks to Judicial Watch pressure, started devoting more resources to the processing of these Clinton records. Because this is all a political decision. They don't want to release the records quickly, so they pretend not to have the resources. So they did away with that pretense and said, well, we're devoting more resources. And we said, well, when are we going to get the records? Are we going to get them more quickly? No, we were told. So long story short, we're in court late last year talking about this very issue. And the court finally issued a ruling, I think it was in the beginning of December or the end of November, and saying that the government has to release the records by September of this year. So those 72,000 new Clinton emails, or maybe they're old Clinton emails, I don't know, but they were the emails that she didn't want you to see, are now going to be released by the end of the year, at least by September. And in the meantime, the government's going to have to start producing reasons why they aren't releasing other records. So if they're going to release an email and withhold it in part, or they're not going to release an email at all because it's being entirely withheld, they have to explain to Judicial Watch and the court what they propose to do and why they're withholding material. So what's going to happen is we're going to keep on getting new Clinton emails at an accelerated pace, thousands and thousands of them it looks like. And if past experience is any indication of future experience, we are going to find more classified information, more evidence of pay-to-play, all of which is going to result on more pressure on the Justice Department to finally seriously and independently and criminally investigate Hillary Clinton and her aides and the State Department, frankly, for her email misconduct and what it was designed to cover up: pay-to-play, classified information handling, and all sorts of other things. Who knows what else is in there. You know, we already know that Mrs. Clinton, based on the Aberdeen records, didn't turn over classified information to the government like she promised she had done. You know, she testified to Judicial Watch, as far as I know, I've turned over all the records. I think she was even more direct with Congress, that she said she turned over all of her government records. Well, we found at least 620 records that she hadn't turned over, including, now it looks like, classified information that she didn't turn over to the government as she promised. So there are reports that the Justice Department are re-looking at the issue of classified mishandling by Mrs. Clinton. Frankly, they need to expand the scope. Also, there are reports, as I discussed last week, that the Justice Department out of Little Rock, the U.S. Attorney there, is pursuing this issue of pay-to-play with the FBI in Little Rock. Well, I want more resources being brought to bear here. You know, it's announced this week that Robert Mueller's investigation hired another lawyer, which I think brings the total number of prosecutors on his team to an absurd number of 17. Targeting what? You know, it's unclear what he's investigating. Because there's no evidence of collusion, which I'll get into later. So are they going to devote similar resources into the in-your-face criminality of the Clinton gang? That's the question for the Justice Department. Because right now, the Justice Department is just merely talking about whether they're going to continue to reopen an investigation. They haven't reopened the investigation. They're just talking about doing it. Isn't it funny? Comey says boo, and Mueller gets appointed as special counsel to investigate, again, Lord knows what for Donald Trump. You've got these tremendous allegations of criminality by Hillary Clinton and her aides, and there's been months of agony by the Justice Department of whether they're going to open the investigation, even given the mountains of evidence that the prior investigation was politically and ethically compromised, if not obstructed, by the Obama administration. James Comey, Loretta Lynch, you name it. So some great news. We're going to be getting more disclosures about the Clinton email matter and her emails. We're going to find what she wanted to hide. You know, people often ask, what is it you think Hillary Clinton was hiding when she decided to do the secret server to keep the records away from Judicial Watch? And my response is she was hiding everything. She didn't want any of her emails to come out. And it's a real credit to our legal team, our investigators, that it was our litigation that first uncovered the Clinton email scandal, uncovered the pay-to-play information in those records, because she didn't want any of it to come out. Because we began asking for records when she was in office, and they lied to us saying that there were no records. And it was only after she left office that the State Department pony up the records or admit that they had the records to look at on the Clinton email server. So this was a cover-up and obstruction from day one by Hillary Clinton. And I'm glad that this court has ordered the State Department, which outrageously had stonewalled and slow-walked the release of the Clinton emails, to start doing its job and releasing these records in a more timely way. Because previously they said we can process and release only 500 pages a month at a minimum, which is absurd and ridiculous. So we're going to be getting these emails much more quickly.